What I think is really funny, if you read the subtitles on the bottom of the news report, it says, "Emergency personnel have been dispatched. Residences describe giant man as dickless and terrible."
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Burns Reviews, and today we're doing an ending explained for PG Psycho Goreman. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, it really does help a lot. And without any further ado, let's talk about the ending of PG Psycho Goreman. So, Psycho Goreman was an evil presence from the planet Gygax that was set on destroying all that was good in the universe. The power of light came together and took down PG and imprisoned him here on Earth, thinking that he would never be found. In the present day, Mimi and Luke dig a hole in their backyard and find a gem called the Gem of Praxidike, and unknowingly release PG from his slumber. He kills some homeless guys the following day, and the two kids follow the footprints to find him at an old abandoned shoe factory. They quickly realize that because Mimi has the gem, that she has complete control over PG, making him do silly tricks and bend to her every will.
It's nice meeting you.
It would be nicer if you were dead.
Alright, bye.
And, as expected, Mimi becomes more and more drunk with power, treating her brother like absolute trash and just downright being a spoiled little brat. Meanwhile, in outer space, the alleged good guys, led by the Templar called Pandora, is heading towards Earth with plans of taking out PG once and for all. We later learn that through flashbacks that PG was a slave on his home planet, and that the Templars were holy crusaders that imprisoned PG, making him break rocks while in chains. He stumbles across the Gem of Praxidike and is able to escape, killing his captors and anyone else in his path. And from there, it's pretty self-explanatory. He's mostly controlled by Mimi and Luke throughout the movie. It's only when Pandora comes back to Earth that they actually do square off, and as seen in the movie, he does in fact kill Pandora. After that, he promises to spare the family and gives Mimi the gemstone, saying he doesn't need it anymore, saying he has something better now, the power of love. A portal opens and we see him wreak havoc on the other side. One might think he's now destroying buildings on a different planet, that he's going after the other Templars, but that's simply not true. He's still here on Earth. In the final scene in the movie, you can see Alistair having dinner with his family, and there's a news report playing saying that PG is burning everything down here in America. Now granted, it's probably not where Mimi is. In fact, it probably doesn't even have to be in America. It could be in Australia, China, Iraq, anywhere, because as you do remember, he did promise not to harm them and most likely would have gone further away. What I think is really funny, if you read the subtitles on the bottom of the news report, it says, "Emergency personnel have been dispatched. Residences describe giant man as dickless and terrible."
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Another fun fact is that the mother who you see at the dinner table is also the woman who was in the suit playing Pandora for the rest of the movie. As far as the rest of the Templars, they can be seen in the next scene debating on what to do. One expresses concerns about whether PG will ever find them, while another expresses that he has a way out, before pulling a gun out, putting it on the table and saying, "Who wants to kill themselves first?" and the tube guy's like... Now granted, this is all played for laughs and shouldn't be taken too seriously as far as the future of the franchise. Kind of like Shaun of the Dead, it's over the top, you had a good journey, we don't really care about the ending, kind of way. When asked if there could be a potential sequel, Kostanski expressed interest in continuing the stories of PG in either a direct sequel or a TV series, or even having him pop up in a cameo for one of his other films. So going on the premise that this movie actually makes enough money, this will not be the last time that we see PG. Another interesting note is that the Praxidike gem is no longer seen lighting up when he gives it back to Mimi. However, I have no doubt that the stone will be the main source of communication with PG when the story picks up in part 2. I mean, it's pretty much the only reason why he would have given it to her in the first place, right? If you remember earlier in the film, Mimi is able to use the gem to summon PG to their house. If PG wreaks too much havoc, I could see Mimi summoning him back to the small suburban town for another adventure. And in keeping in true tradition, you have to make it bigger and faster and crazier, so they're probably going to bring more people back from Pandora's home planet to try to get revenge on PG Goreman. Psycho Goreman. PG Psycho Goreman. PG for short. There you go. Kostanski said he would love to put PG in more fish out of order scenarios, saying that he loves movies like Monster Squad, Power Rangers, Suburban Commando, essentially anything that's like a small suburban family that has to deal with otherworldly problems.
I was frozen today!
Even equating it to Masters of the Universe from the 80s. I thought it was pretty funny. There was one scenario he said that he feels like his movies almost feel like a shared universe. I'll leave a link to it down below. It was an interview with MovieWeb, and he did a movie, I think it was like a sequel or a spin-off to the Leprechaun franchise, and he actually talks about how it would be great to see Leprechaun and PG go head to head. So if nothing else, we will definitely see PG Psycho Goreman in some type of cameo in a future endeavor put out by the director. But what do you think? Would you pay to see a sequel? I would. I think this is great. I'm waiting for those action figures from Plastic Meatball to come out, because I kind of want to get like a Psycho Goreman for my desk. Maybe put it over here behind me, because I don't know. This is a movie from a bygone era that just is a lot of fun, a lot of great jokes and humor that you just don't really get in today's kind of movies. When the studio sent me the early screener for the flick, they also sent me a press kit with a statement from the director in which he said, "The core concept of PG is something I've carried with me for as long as I can remember. What would it be like to have your own monster? As a kid, I was mesmerized by the relationship between John Connor and the T-800 in Terminator 2. The way the relatable kid could suddenly have a badass villain as his pal. I would fantasize about hanging out with the likes of Skeletor, Megatron, Cobra Commander, and every other Saturday morning cartoon villain. These characters always interested me more than the traditional heroes. I was also fascinated by the dynamic that could be generated between the seemingly opposing characters. One, a cosmic creature of immense power and evil. The other, a child whose delusional innocence gives her the confidence to go toe-to-toe with such a terrifying fiend. This relationship describes that of PG and Mimi and is really the heart of the movie. I particularly love the contrast of operatic space fantasy with suburban banality, and I think this was born out of my love for low-budget genre films from the 80s and 90s, like Masters of the Universe and Beastmaster 2, where budget constraints forced filmmakers to set their epic stories in accessible, real-world locations. Finding comedy in such contrasts can be further observed in my efforts to subvert the safe space of the kids movie genre with shocking violence and real-world consequences. With PG, I pushed this idea to more imaginative and brutal heights, recreating the deranged scenarios I used to make up while playing in the backyard as a kid. Which I think is great. We need more movies like this. I personally cannot wait to see what Kostanski puts out next. But anyway guys, what did you think of PG Psycho Goreman? Be sure to comment down below, and until next time guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John, you've been Burned. Be sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, really helps the channel a lot. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.